lights are on, the crowd's alive. You can feel the magic in the night. From every corner of the world we came, one dream to chase, one common flame. Every lane, every road, every heartbeat, every soul. The journey starts the moment we're here, with hope instead of fear. We came to fight, we came to fly, together reaching for the sky. One chance, one shot, one destiny. Tonight we're who we're meant to be. So lucky, lost and masters. We're rising high. Johnson stood so tall. Matthias anchored out, inspired us all. A.J. Johnson found his time. Jesper Svensson made it shine. Sean Rash wrote the latest page. Now another dream takes center stage. Who will lift the trophy high? Who will hear the crowd tonight? Every frame can change it all.
Sätt inte den på max för det blir jävligt högt.
Ja, men han gnäller inom alldeles för låg volym.
Vem?
Som har skapat.
Marcus? Det går ju, men det är mycket krångligare.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the show. We are back here in Olympia Bowling Alley in Helsingborg. We are ready to see some more action and we are more or less 2 minutes past 3 o'clock here at the time and we're gonna see we have some action. We have already some of the PBA guys arriving. We have actually on streaming at the moment we can see Andrew Anderson bowling here on lanes 9 and 10. We see almost, let me see, we see Raymond Tees as well, bowling here on lanes 11 and 12. We will do a very quick look around the bowling alley to see some of the bowlers we have now doing some action. We have Nora Johansson, the Swedish superstar. She's 23 years of age, bowling for the local club Spaddedam. Already making her first attempts in the American tournament and the Women Professional Tour. Also bowling with Nora, we have one of the classics of the classics, one of the best bowlers we had in Europe for the past 20 years from Norway, Norwegian superstar Tore Torgersen. He hasn't bowled anything since April. He is not bowling that much. He practiced just 5 games before the showing up in here. It's going to be very fun to see Tore bowl and see how he manages to fight this pattern. And my personal bet on him is that he has a lot of chances to really make it on. Also on lanes 3 and 4 we can find James Blomgren, world champion, European champion, one of the best bowlers in the past 10-15 years here in Sweden, one of the best ones. You can see him now releasing the ball on lane 4. Yeah, that usually happens when we try to talk about someone, that we are not so lucky with their shot at the moment. But as you can see, a lot of quality going on already here on this First squad of the day. Moving on to 5, 6, 7, and 8, we find Patrick Hennen, Danny Borner, Nikki Lillibart, Robin Persson, Danielle Urbano. So she's Daniel McEwen now, married, happily married. So her name is now Danielle Urbano. We're going to pay some attention also on Danielle, see how she's doing and how she goes. Bowling with her, we have Kevin Melin, and then on lane 8 we find Timothy Tam and Anders Konstam. And moving along, let's have a look what we find on lanes 9 to 12. Paul Purps already here, bowling with the German, very strong potential guy. Max Lorenz is a really good bowler as well. Bowling with them is, as we said, Andrew Anderson, Thomas McNeil, and then on lanes 11 and 12 we find Albin Wallström, Raymond Thies, Simon Komarek, and Caroline. If we move to the next camera, we can see bowling in here. Chase Nadeau, we find Moritz, bowling John, and bowling Saskia. 15 and 16, Mikael Mares, Fredrik Abramson, Philip Jiranek, and Martin Ike. And finally, on the last camera, we would find Oscar Brostrom, Mike Ong taking another attempt, Marcus Fransson, Timon Habelka, Carl Walgren, David Moika, Per Svensson, another of the classics, former Team Sweden. He's been bowling in Team Sweden for many, many years. And finally, Andrew Hall. So as you can see, we have a lot of good bowlers, pretty much in any bowling lane that we pay some attention to. For now, we're going to stick on to lanes 9, 10, 11, and 12, where we can find some good piece of action by Andrew. Same thing by Paul Purps, Max Lorenz, and Raymond Thies. So we're going to stick over here, and as always, we welcome you to join the chat and talk to us, send us any kind of questions you may have, and we will try to solve them and try to give you any kind of explanation for any of the questions you may have. Let's talk about something else as well. I'm going to give you a little bit of the betting, the kind of a friendly bet we have been doing here at the streaming booth with the different commentators and guests that have been passing by. We have been asking each one of them what's the number they believe it's going to be for making it into the final. What's the pins you're going to need to throw down on 6 games in order to qualify for the final. We have Victor Backes at 1353, and behalf of Victor, that was set right before any squad was bowled. We actually made that prediction at the very beginning of the tournament. I said 1375, Martin Larsen said 1379, Carl Eklund said 1380, Matt McNeil said 1381, Robin Anderson 1377, Dan Harding 1365, and last night Jesper Svensson said that was 1376. So pretty much it's quite a few of us talking about between 1375 and 1380, so that seems to be the number at the moment, but it could obviously change a little bit later on. I see we have a question. It's written down in Swedish, so let me have a second because I need to read it properly for me to understand. I believe it says, now I have a technicians here, so probably it's going to help me out. I believe it says it's only $5 to subscribe for the full month, and it's 1 million times better with commentary. How close am I to correct translation? I didn't use Google.
It's worth the $5.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate your kind words, and I agree because there's nothing more boring than watching bowling silent. You end up thinking about any other thing, and at least if you get the commentary, and especially when it's with me, you get a lot of nonsense going on as well. So it's a little bit of bowling and a comedy show, Comedy Central. But yeah. All right, let's have a little of a look around on the scoring and the screen, see if there's anyone going any while or it's a little bit kind of relaxed so far. I don't see anybody starting with front three, front four, only a double here, a double there, some spares and another couple of doubles here and there. I must say also that except a few exceptions, maybe 4, 5, 6 bowlers in the squad that they have bowled quite a few amount of squats before. Most of them is the first or second attempt, and you may still have not such a clear idea on which kind of line you want to do, which kind of ball you want to throw. If you bowled 2 squads also, and this is the third one, and you had a couple of different experiences depending on who you were following, it would make sense also that you would be trying something different. But when you see Andrew Anderson throwing that IQ U78, he's standing pretty much on a very logical area, standing around 8 to 10 on the arrow, sending it out to approximately 5, 6, 7 on the break point. We can see a little bit further to the right. Let me switch to the next camera so you see as well. Chase Nadeau is also using the IQ 78, just left the 10 pin, but he's bowling a very similar line that Andrew was doing. In my eyes, it looks like that's one of the most profitable areas to try to bowl on fresh, but you also need to be very awake to try to catch transition as soon as it arrives. Don't let it skip your attention, because it also has been a little bit sooner or a little bit later, depending on each squad and depending on the majority of what the bowlers were doing. We had a couple of squads were a little bit more filled with younger bowlers. They also have more tendency to throw a urethane, and obviously it's more of them throwing two-handed. That pushed the oil a little bit longer in the back of the lane, but since they use a lot of surface, it did generate a little bit more of burning feeling in the heads and in the middle lane. So on those particular squads, the transition was a little bit quicker and different than some other squads where we have seen a little bit more of use of reactive resin. All right, we're gonna move a little bit around now. I see some lane that starts to strike a little bit. Why am I not surprised that Nora is already with a turkey? And as I said, Tori Torgersen already double spare double, looking to get his third in a row. Let's have a look at Tori on lane 1. That's a nice pin action for Tori at the end. Was a little bit of a late thumb. The rep rate was slightly lower than his usual shots, so that could explain why the ball was a little bit weaker on the back of the reaction, a little bit weaker entering the pins, and that's why we could see the 7-10 wanting to stay, but he managed to get them down. I can understand exactly how Tori is feeling at the moment, because it was a little bit the same for me. I haven't bowled since May. Then I showed up, bowled that one squad, and inconsistency, I could say, was the word that described that squad for me. And obviously Tori is a much better bowler, and I think a little bit more active than I actually am on throwing balls, despite he hasn't been bowling since April. But the other thing I believe Tori is going to feel tomorrow and the day after, because it's exactly what I'm feeling now, is a lot of pain in muscle pain in the forearm. But it's going to be fun to see him watch, to see him bowl, to watch him bowl. Is one of my favorite players when I was a teenager, and it's always fun to see Tori bowling. So we saw Nora missing far to the right on that first shot of her last frame. For a moment, it actually looked like the ball could have fallen down into the gutter, but good for her. She took the spare, and she can just focus on the next frame. Let's have a look at Tori, see if the thumb goes out a little bit quicker than it did on the last shot. That looked a little bit better. Yeah, that looked a little bit better. Cleaner on the thumb, better red weight. High flash for him. Nice strike. We have another classic bowler also coming later on in the week. At least I've been told. Another of my good friends from my teen years when I was following around and bowling with them. It's Mika Koibinemi. He has been quite successful this year bowling back at the PVA Senior after quite a few amount of years spent in the coaching area. He was coaching UAE, and now he's back on track, and it's always fun to see these super good bowlers taking back their passion and being able to carry on succeeding anywhere they go. So it's going to be fun to see what Tore can do today. It's going to be fun to see what Mika can accomplish during the week. And due to the shape of the pattern, I actually expect them to do pretty well, both Tore and Mika. Slightly deep in the pocket there for Nora. Was a 4-pin, he could have tripped down, but it stood over there still. It's a good game for a start. With a spare and a double, it's going to be on the 225s. We're going to move back to see a little bit of action here with Chase Nadeau, and we'll probably go back and see also what's going on with Andrew Raymond and company. So Andrew has a double 9 spare strike, 9 spare strike. He's going to take a shot now on lane 9. And Raymond has got double 9 spare strike, 9 spare double. Raymond bowled yesterday. He actually had a 300 game. It was on game 2, unless my memory is failing me. It was thrown on lanes 1 and 2, where it's supposed to be one of the tough pairs in the house. Lanes 1 to 6 seem to be the hardest in the house. But Raymond felt super comfortable bowling over there. Shot a beautiful 300 game. There goes Andrew. That's a beautiful shot there for Andrew Andersson. It seemed to me he's already around 10 in the arrows and still sending it out around 6 down the pattern. That's Max Lorenz on lane 10, as you can see, two-hander. Very strong performance. Nice technique on him. Beautiful strike there on lane 12 for Raymond. He's bowling a little bit more outside than he was doing yesterday. He was standing a little bit more into 12, 13 in the arrows than he is today. Today's a little bit further outside. Oh, that's a 4-9 for Andrew on lane 10. It actually felt he was bowling further outside on lane 10 than he did on the previous shot on lane 9, but we haven't really followed the whole game. So it's not something that I would put my hand on the fire. Let me go back for a second to lane 1 and 2 so we can see how the game ends for Nora and Tore. Nora just had the 8-pin on the 10 frame. So it's a game of 211. Let's see how Tore can finish his game. That was a little bit late again, but he got a perfect strike over there. Nice strike there for Tore Torgersen. Looking for his first 250 on game 1, and showing that once you know how to ride a bike, you never forget it. Gonna take a shot now on frame number 11. Classical 6-step approach. There goes Torre, releases. That was a little bit deep in the area. Oh, look at that, he has room. Don't give room to a guy like Tori Torgerson or he's gonna make a lot of pins. That was at least 2 boards deeper than previous shot. Quite a late time, to be honest. And I'm not surprised. Again, I'm going to compare it with when I bowled that squat on day 1. When you don't bowl so often, even if you know how to ride the bike, the timing it's a little bit on and off, on and off. And when you're a little bit early on that timing and you end up pulling the swing to match it up, sometimes the thumb, it's a little bit too late coming out of the ball, and then it's when you become a little bit less consistent. But looking great for Tori over there on a very comfortable spot. It's one of the zones where he can really shine, and he's very good at following the transition. So if Tori can start with a 258, unless he finds a very tough pair of lanes around that really takes a lot to figure out, we can expect Tori to really show up some of his skills today. Let's have a look at Andrew on his 10th frame. Beautiful strike, a little bit of a late 4-pin, but probably the lane starts to open up a little bit already and start to feel a little bit more friction. Most probably we're going to see him moving slightly, a very slight move after that late 4-pin. The ball was more or less on board number 9 in the arrows. Hard to say the break point because even if I have a big screen in front of me, it's a lot of lanes, and it's not that easy, even with reading glasses. One more strike also for Paul Purps. That's going to put him on the 230s, 235 with a strike. So highest score, I think it's Torre with 258. Then we find 237 for Dennis Linhart. The next one could be that 235 for Paul Purps. That was a solid 10 for Andrew, which proves what I said. He moved a little bit from the previous shot because he's throwing Euro 10. As soon as you move a little bit, the ball goes a little bit later in the angle, and the carry it's not as good as it was. So he should need to find a little bit more of that small adjustment. But it's only game 1, and just taking some information to go on, a lot of bowling to go on, especially for guys like Andrew. They're probably going to bowl 4, 5, 6 squats, not only one. As you can see, he didn't even try to take the spare. On the contrary, he took a strike ball, tried a different ball, changed the IQ 78, and he probably thrown the new pitch black 78, and just went for a strike shot. So he gave away that single pin in order to get some extra information. Let's jump to the right corner where we had Per Svensson and Andrew Hall, and also the local bowler Carl Wolfgren running the pro shop here at Olympia Bowling Alley. Carl was doing quite good yesterday until it was one game where he had 4 splits and everything became a little bit out of control. A little bit of the same we can see on this first game for him. He's got a double, a turkey, and now he's getting another double on the 10th frame. But he has 3 open frames, which are all splits, and in a bad count as well, because it's a 7-1 and a 5-3, and that takes away a lot of pins, especially when you have some strikes on. Two 8-10 for Per Svensson on the 10th frame. Was looking to strike out and managed to make it to 14, but got a little bit short in the pocket, and that was an expensive frame for him. Let's have a look at Andrew Hall. We have seen Raymond T somewhere around 8, 9 in the arrows, sending it a little bit further outside on the breakpoint. We have seen Andrew Anderson doing something very similar. And now we're going to have a look and see what Andrew Hall is doing, which I believe is going to be pretty similar as well. Looks like he has some traffic on the left side. He's going to wait for it. Now he's taking the approach. Let's have a look at Andrew. A little bit deeper than the other two, or he could have actually missed a little bit in. That was more in the 11th area than 8, 9 like we've seen before with the other two. But he left a 4-pin, and since the deeper you go, a little bit more oil you find. I believe he probably missed at least one board to the left on the target, so he's probably bowling somewhere near 10. That's going to be with the spare a 227 game for Andrew Hall with the spare and a strike. And they are actually the last ones to finish this game number 1 on this first squad of today. So we'll be refreshing the scores pretty soon, and I'll give you a proper update on how are the standings for this current squad. So strike for Andrew Hall, 227 total. Let's have a look at the current standings. That's the top 6. We find Tomo with 1488, Noel Haglund 1474, Albil Gudstrand 1473, Marcus Jansson 1449, Carl Eklund 1431, and Alexander with 14 and 29. That's our current leaders of the tournament. We're gonna move back a little bit. See, we have some lanes already that's starting to get some action. And if you give me 30 seconds, I'm gonna try to refresh the scores and give you an update.